Let's jump into the video. So the first option is Harvey Barnes, and yes, it does feel like I talk about him every week, but he is a very good player and a very good option. So he's got 2 assists and 3 goals in his last 5 games, so good form there. And Leicester's next fixtures for Gameweek 26, as it's a double game week, so Leicester will play twice. They're one of the teams to play twice. Leicester have Arsenal at home and Burnley away. So Arsenal, their defence is actually good. I know it may not look like it. You may think, oh, Arsenal, they got a load of rubbish defenders. But if you look how many goals they conceded this season, they haven't conceded that many. But Leicester are a very good attacking team, score a lot of goals. And then Burnley, same. Burnley are very good defensively, but of course, Leicester, one of the top attacking sides in the league when they have Barnes, Maddison, Vardy. Oh yeah, and Maddison. If Maddison's fit, that will help Barnes a lot. If he's not, it will hinder him, but I still think Barnes is a good option for the upcoming game week. And at 6.9 million and only owned by 12.2%, he could be a very good option. And the next option is Lewis Dunk from Brighton. So he's pretty much guaranteed to start. He is the captain of the club. And Brighton, yes, they do only have one game week this week, but it is against West Brom away. And West Brom do not score too many goals, so that's quite good. And Brighton have got 4 clean sheets in their last 6 games, which is very good. Yes, I know they lost to Palace, and Palace aren't the best of teams, but it's the Premier League, anything can happen. And this season, Dunk, yeah, he's scored a few goals from corners and stuff. I think from corners, but he's got a few goals to his name, so that's another good point there. And at 4.9 million, and only in by 5.7% of the game, which I don't think will increase as he's only got one game week, so people might think, we're not going to get him in. So he could be a good option for this game week. Next option is the Wolves midfielder, Pedro Neto. So the young Portuguese lad this season, based on when I've watched him, he's been brilliant. He always takes on his man. He gets past him most of the time. Well, that's what I've seen anyway. He's good at dribbling. He's got a strong left foot. Drills it into the bottom corner a few times this season. And his fixtures are Newcastle away and Man City away. You might think, oh, Man City. Yeah, I know, Man City are probably the best team in the league at the moment. But you never know, because Wolves is danger man, really. Every time I watch Wolves play, he looks like the one scoring the most. And then Newcastle, who don't look too good at the moment themselves neither. So he could be a good option. And at 5.7 million and only owned by 6.9% of the game, he'd be a differential option as well. And in his last 5 games, he's managed to grab himself a reasonable, respectable tally, an assist and a goal. So nothing special, but decent for a Wolves forward, because Wolves do not score too many goals at all. So he could be a good option for the next game week. And the next option is Everton forward Dominic CalvertLewin. So yes, he is owned by 36% of the game, which is quite high. But he only costs 7.6 million, which is cheap. And Calvert-Lewin has got 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games, which is a pretty good return for the number 9. And Everton have Southampton at home. Southampton tailed off a bit recently. Yes, I know they've picked up a couple of points in their last few games, but compared to the start of the season and earlier on in the season, they're not the same team. And then they've got West Brom, and West Brom are quite weak defensively too, so Calvert-Lewin could profit in either one of those games. So the next option is Harry Kane. So yes, Spurs have not been in good form recently, but Kane, if you give him a chance, he usually takes it. Owned by 26.8% of the game, so 26.8%, quite high, and his price is higher at 11.1 million. But his 2 fixtures in Game Week 26 is Burnley at home and Fulham away. And yes, Fulham have improved recently, and so have Burnley. But still, if Tottenham playing well and their attack's in form, they can score goals against anyone, even though Burnley have got a good defence and Fulham have upped their form recently. So Harry Kane could be a good option for this game week if you bring him into your team. Final option of this video is Kevin De Bruyne. So yes, it is very pricey at 11.8 million, but he is only owned by 11.4% of the game, as he just recently returned from an injury. And Man City play West Ham at home. West Ham are a good team, but of course, so is City. And then they have Wolves. And Wolves aren't the same team that they were last season, but they are missing Raul Jimenez up top, which does hamper them a lot, especially going forward. But De Bruyne came off after 62 minutes against Arsenal. So who knows what will happen in the senses of how much minutes he'll get to play in Game Week 26, because Man City do play Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League midweek, which they might think, let's play De Bruyne in this game, as we've got a comfortable lead at the top of the Premier League and we want to do well in the Champions League. Or they may think, rest him and just play him on the weekend. But with those 2 fixtures, on paper, reasonable fixtures, but City are in form, they look like they could beat anyone at the moment, and because De Bruyne is so lowly owned, he could profit, and differential option could be good for your team. So this week, I thought I'll use my wildcard, bung in all of the double Gameweek26 pairs I can, and just hope for the best. So let's start off with Nat Phillips. So Henderson came off the other day, injured against Everton sadly. Big loss for Liverpool right there. And Nat Phillips came on instead of the new January signing Ben Davies, which leads me to think that Phillips will probably play one, or if not both of the games in double Gameweek26. And they're reasonable games, and Liverpool aren't very good at the moment, but at his price tag, there's not much to lose really. And then Dallas, sadly he will be benched this week as he only has one game, and then I'll play Cancelo with his 2 fixtures. Not to say Cancelo or Stones will play both, because Pep likes to rotate, and Diaz and Edison look like the only ones who will play pretty much all the time. And then Matt Targett, I should have talked about him in good options earlier on in the video, but Aston Villa keep a lot of clean sheets. Sheffield United do not score too many goals. Leeds, yes, they do score a lot of goals, but Aston Villa have the capabilities to catch them on the counter-attack. Matt Targett bombing forward, and if Grealish is fit, because it wasn't last game, that would be a big boost for Villa. And at his price point and how much he's owned by, he looks like a good option. Now we move on to the midfield. Taking out Son, bold decision, but Son and Spurs haven't looked that great recently, so I thought I'd bring in Harvey Barnes. And then up front, I had to take out Brewster and drop him to Keenan Davies because he was 0.1 million cheaper. And then I took out Antonio and brought in Dominic CalvertLewin, and took out Bamford and brought in Harry Kane. Yes, Tottenham haven't been that great recently, but Kane, usually give him a chance and he'll take it. So I thought captains. So I'll either captain Calvert-Lewin or Kane, and they would be my 2 strikers. 4 midfielders of Gundogan, Salah, Barnes and Fernandes, Rafinha on the bench, and a back 4 of Phillips, Cancelo, Stones and Target, and Nick Pope on goal. Yes, I dropped Ben Mee. You might think, well, why didn't you drop Nick Pope as well? Think about save points. Because if Leicester and Spurs are constantly shooting against the Burnley goal, Nick Pope could save a lot of those shots. And also, Burnley aren't a bad team defensively. Don't write them off. So that is going to be my team. Should be. I'll post it on my Instagram as my final team when I've fully decided. But using my wild card, and that should be it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.